Hello and welcome. He's been described as the world's most famous and influential Muslim evangelist, and he's extremely popular for his pragmatic stance on religious issues. This week on One, meet the Egyptian-born activist and preacher, Amr Khaled. His professional life began as an accountant in Egypt, having graduated from Cairo University with a degree in the subject. But it was not long after that the young man from a wealthy family in Alexandria began preaching in mosques part-time. By 1998, Amr Khaled had moved to preaching full-time, primarily on satellite television, which was gaining popularity in the country. Khaled's ability to take sometimes deep and emotive issues in Islam to a simpler everyday level won him millions of fans, especially among the younger generations. That made the authorities wary, prompting him to spend more time outside Egypt for a while. However, Amr Khaled continues to gain fans, both in the East and West, as he strongly rejects extremism and promotes tolerance and peace through Islam. Dr. Amr Khaled, good to speak with you.
Nice to meet you, and thank you very much for this interview. It's my pleasure.
It's my pleasure. For those viewers who don't know you, and we'll establish exactly how popular you are, It's quite remarkable, your achievements. You've been described by New York Times Magazine as the world's most famous and influential Muslim evangelist. Time Magazine shows you as number 13 in the world's most influential people. On top of that, you have 26 million plus hits on your YouTube videos, 2 million Facebook followers, more viewers than Oprah Winfrey, known as the Billy Graham of the Middle East. It's a huge following. It's a lot of pressure on you, isn't it?
Yeah. And make me feel that lot of responsibility for the Arab and Muslim youth.
What is it about your preaching? Why does it attract so many people?
I'm listening to the youth. We have a big problem in the Middle East. This problem that youth in the Middle East have a problem, no one listen to them. And then no one respect them. And there is a big gap between their needs and their thinking and what the others giving to them. No one listen. No one asking them to do anything.
So you listen, but you also have a message for them. What is that message?
My message, by the way, it's like a puzzle. It's 4 pieces. And each 2 years, I started to put one of these pieces. First piece was faith. And second piece was ethics and manners. And third piece was to produce something, not to be a consumer. Development through faith and manners. And last piece was coexistence. And I'm saying to the youth, there is a link between these 4. We need faith. And faith means manners. And this faith have to be for development. Because faith for faith can lead to extremism. But faith for development can build our countries. And finally, you cannot do this development without partners. So you need coexistence.
This is your faith-based development program, which you feel is the only way for the Arab and Muslim world to move forward, yeah?
Yeah.
Now tell me, you seem to focus a lot, or you seem to attract a lot of Muslim Arabs aged between 15 and 35 from upper middle-class families. And I wonder, you believe that these are the people who can most effectively change the Islamic world. Why is that?
They are the future, and they are well-educated, and they are ready to change. And they can believe and think and put dreams and going to produce something, and I believe in them. And I tried to ask them for many things, and never they said no. Shall I give you an example?
Please.
In 2007, I put on my website, please send me your dreams for your countries after 20 years from now. And I put in my website 26 sectors, education, health, economy, technology, and I got in 1 month 700,000 dreams. And then I asked them, please put the priorities of your dreams. So 1.4 million replied. And the first thing in these priorities was, we need jobs. And second was, women empowerment. So they want to build. They want anyone to give them the chance. And I'm doing that. If you said, why your website like that and 26 millions? I'm a platform. My website is a platform for youth. Express yourself.
In terms of your view on how Islam is taught or how it's promoted throughout the region, do you feel there is something wrong with that? Do you feel that there's something wrong with Islam that needs to change?
Not with Islam, with the traditional scholars. We have a problem. We have a problem to give a message, very old message, and message not to build. And I'm doing to say this is wrong. And the most important thing that the traditional scholars' message always talking about faith and full stop. Faith for what? To build what? Nothing. And what I'm doing is open channels for their energy, for their faith. Put your energy to consume, to make development for your countries. This is the problem.
Many people have, skepticism when it comes to television evangelists. They feel that, because they hear of scandals like in the West, they're involved with taking a lot of money or they have their own image to promote, they become skeptical. So how do you avoid anyone who sees you that way, for example?
And first of all, it is very difficult to put me in the box of those people, with all my respect. I'm not, you cannot say that you are a scholar. I'm not a scholar. You cannot put me in this box. I'm not, you can say you are a preacher. I'm reformer. I'm trying to reform. So I think I have my own books, and these books, it's a new books in the Middle East. You can put a slogan for these books. It's development through faith. This is what I'm doing. I'm not only a preacher. I'm not only talking about faith or religion parts. I respect that. But my message is not only like that. My message, how to build our countries for the future.
Do you believe in a clash of civilizations? Do you believe that exists?
No, I don't believe that, because I believe in Quran. And Quran didn't say that. Quran says the opposite. Quran said, we created you in different colors, cultures, religious, to extend benefits.
You're actually born in Alexandria in Egypt into a wealthy Egyptian family, and I wonder what you remember of those early years, your childhood years. What are the strongest memories?
Actually not wealth family. We are coming from middle upper class, and my father is a doctor, and I can remember that this family was always give us the lesson about manners, about ethics, about your hand have to be clean, and to build yourself. This is the first things. And another thing they gave to me, be open, and how to deal with women in a respectable way, not feel that I can deal with women. My school was boys and girls from first year till high school. So it wasn't a closed life. It was very open life and very respectable. Give the manners is number one.
It sounds like a happy childhood.
Yeah, very happy, especially with the football.
You still enjoy the football. As a youngster, how aware were you of the world outside Egypt? How much did you get to learn about the bigger world, the broader world?
We have a problem in Egypt, and maybe most of the Arab countries, especially for youth. You cannot understand how the world around you till you go. And many of my opinions changed after I left Egypt in 2002. I can claim that it became more mature, to be very honest with you. And my vision, when you watch, I lived after I left Egypt in Lebanon and UK. Big difference to talk about multicultural, to talk about diversity, to accept others.
You were only about 23 years old when you started preaching in mosques. How did that come about?
It came by chance, by the way. I'm like a lot of the Arab and Egyptian youth have the talent, but they don't know how can I express, and where is my talent. I worked as an accountant, and I don't like to be an accountant. And then I became an auditor, and I don't like to be an auditor. And I worked in KPMG, and I don't like to be and finally I found I'm doing something, but I don't like it. Till it came by chance.
What made you go into auditing and accounting and KPMG in the first place?
Because my degrees in the high schools take me to this place, like millions of the Arabs, and they died, and their talent with them in the grave, unfortunately. But it came a chance. I feel at that time that I have a message in my heart, and I feel that I'm very upset to find youth in the cafes doing nothing, just thinking nothing, and I felt that I have to do something, and I started to talk to the youth till it came by chance. Do you like to talk in the televisions?
Now, it's interesting because you literally gave up your full-time profession with working in auditing and accounting at the age of 31, which is quite a brave move. In 1998, you went full-time into preaching.
Yeah. Actually, at that time, not only full-time as a preaching, but at that time we started our project or our foundation. It's Right Start Foundation International. At that time, I found that I don't have time for anything except my message now, and I can live for that.
Now, in terms of making that adjustment and seeing how your future might go, taking this path, was it easy? Was it a clear path for you?
It wasn't easy at all. It wasn't easy at all.
How did your parents react to the way you changed your direction?
At the beginning, they was very worried, not happy. Why are you doing that? It is not your career. Not only them, many of the people. But I feel that I have something. I have a dream, and I want to do it. And I believe that there is a risk, because many of things, at that time, security risk, and what is the career, how you will get money, everything, how you live. But when you believe in something, and I'm always saying that to the youth, if you believe, you will do it. If there is a will, there is a way. And this is what I did.
What do you think was the biggest obstacle to you starting out?
Many obstacles. First of these obstacles, that is it acceptable in the Arab countries to talk to the people and a lot of people listen to you? Popularity in the Arab countries is not something good, unfortunately to say that. So sometimes I felt that you are not acceptable here. Who told you that we want the people to be positive? Because at that time I thought it's enough for me to make the youth positive. It's a great thing. Who told you that we want them to be positive? So this is the obstacle.
You actually had quite a few defining moments in moving forward. What do you feel were the biggest markers in your life? Where did you feel things start to change?
Life Maker projects. Because Life Maker project started in 2004. When I started till 2004, I was just talking about faith and manners. That's it. In 2004, I started to say where this faith will go. Let's talk about how to build. Let's talk about health projects, anti-drug campaigns. Let's talk about many projects. How can we support the society? Let's be positive. Let's do something as a volunteers for our countries. And after that, let's work about positive integration projects in West and build bridges. Let's talk about the many projects like that.
Now, there was nothing like the Life Maker project when you started it. So I wonder, how was it received? Suddenly people were being given so much that they hadn't had a chance to think about.
At the beginning, a lot of people said, what is this project? Are you talking about volunteer through media? Why are you doing that? Is it talking about faith? What is this? And at that time, I started to tell the people that faith is to do something. I can remember now when we started a project talking about the microfinance projects in Upper Egypt and in Yemen and in Jordan, Algeria, to encourage youth to do this. Why at that time? Why are you doing that? The culture wasn't to do something like that, especially between youth as a volunteers. I claim that I started that in the Middle East. So I started to use the Prophet Muhammad speeches about that. For example, to work, to support a poor family, better than to stay in his mosque for 40 days. He said that. I told them, look, faith is to do something. So we talked at that time about 100,000 youth started projects with us, started to work in different projects. And I started this project in the satellites in 2004 till 2006. 2 years, give projects, put the seeds about the volunteers' work, how to do it.
So volunteers would go out, and in 2 years they managed to get this project into a huge success.
Yeah, and after these 2 years, It was a surprise even for me to find many foundations, many charities. The youth established it from Canada, from Gaza, from Egypt. In Egypt, only in Egypt, 45 foundations called Life Makers. Can you imagine, in 3 years? And they're still working like that till now.
Of course, Egypt and many parts of the Middle East have a lot of very conservative people when it comes to religion. And so, of course, that's when you started to get success and people started to criticize you from the religious side, the conservative religious side, even saying you had air-conditioned Islam, for example. How were you able to persuade them that what you were doing was actually, a good thing, as opposed to just contradicting what they were teaching?
First of all, I started to study my PhD in Sharia and coexistence.
So armed with knowledge.
Yeah. To be clear for everybody that Amr Khaled is not talking about faith or about Islam, how Islam can support society without the knowledge, without... So I started to study, because at the beginning I was an accountant. So I started and I finished, alhamdulillah, my PhD with excellent degree for about Sharia Islamiyya and coexistence. So this is part of what I did.
Now, success often threatens and scares leaders in the Middle East. And I know in Egypt in particular, you became something of a threat, I guess, being so popular. What kind of experience did you have with the dangers of being popular?
In the Middle East, or where?
In general, yeah. I mean, obviously at home in Egypt and across the Middle East. What kind of reaction did you get from those who saw you as a threat?
When you do the things for the sake of the people, and at the same time the popularity became rise, you will feel that anything you will do it, the explanation of it will be in the wrong. Always the explanation. I didn't. Why they thought I did this for that? I'm doing for the sake of the youth, and they can't see what happened. So most of my problems, the understanding, to accept. But to be honest with you, day after my puzzle with the 4 pieces, after coexistence, I can say that the governments in the Middle East started to realize Amr Khaled message, why you thought about it, that it's dangerous.
So I guess the idea was that your message was more, they realized your message was more social.
I believe that because there is a problem in the Middle East now. After Tunisia, after, as you know, what happened in Jordan, in Egypt, I claim that there is a need for what I'm doing, because I took the energy of the youth for the right way to build our countries. So let's. I'm always saying I'm extend my hand for any partner in our countries or in anybody in the world. Let's build together.
What do you think would happen to the youth if they don't take up the kind of message that you're promoting?
Going to extremism. No chance in the time being, no chance, because a lot of energy, no hope, no dreams. What are the dreams of millions of youth? They want to have the dream. No jobs. Women need to feel that there a respect for her. No produce. Consume. So there is a need for what I'm doing.
You had to leave Egypt for some time as well. I know you went to London a lot, and you left and you were in Lebanon as well. What was it like being away from home? Did you worry about going back?
No, I'm now in Egypt.
You're back now, but at
my
that time...
My family in Egypt.
Yeah.
My kids and my wife.
At the time you had to leave, was there a threat to you?
I left from 2002 till 2005. I didn't enter Egypt all that time, and I back in 2005. Everything is great now in Egypt, but till now, since 2002 till now, 8 years, I can't talk to the public.
You're not allowed
just
to public
televisions, yeah. And if I turn back to your question about the benefits you got to be talking in the television and the money, I can be happy. I'm in the television. No, this is not my message. I'm not a media man. I want to go to the people in the street, talk to them in the cafes, in the mosques, in the churches, in the clubs, in the universities. My message to talk to the youth, eye to eye, and this is what I need.
And I know beyond just the youth in the Middle East, you've also said you want to build a bridge between the East and the West.
Yeah, exactly. I believe in coexistence, and I believe it's a solution, and I believe we need it because we need know-how, we need partners. And I try to do that through my projects. I have projects with UNODC, with United Nations, with UNICEF. So I believe, let's work together. This is better for all.
Yeah. Who have been your mentors in life? Who have you looked up to over the years? Who has really been your inspiration?
My grandmother, he gave me a lot of ideas and how to love people.
Was she on your mother or father's side?
Mother,
On your
mother's side, yeah. And till now, many of what he did with me when I was a kid, till now I can remember. And I'm always saying to the parents, each word you will give it to your daughters and kids, it will not die. He will repeat it to the next generation.
It stays with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in terms of people you've looked up to, whether it's politics or in the arts or anything, are there people who've inspired you out in the broader world, even in the West, for example?
Nelson Mandela. I like what he did. He after all this year, he didn't like to make violence. He's not extreme, and he can be. He could be after what happened for him. So I believe for this example, keep your message, but don't choose the extreme.
Let me ask you, what, with the popularity you have, with the huge number of followers you have across the Middle East and beyond, have you ever considered going into politics?
I'm doing politics, but on my way. I'm not going to elections. Yes, I'm not going to make a party. Maybe. But what I'm doing, any democracy in the world need the basis. And I put the base. The base is to make youth positive, to make youth looking, what can I do for my country? I'm doing that. So I'm doing my political dimension or political role, but from my dimension, not to be from elections or...
In the mess, you mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you find you're in a minority in trying to promote this modern thinking, forward-thinking version of Islam, the cooperation and coexistence, or are you finding more and more people adopting this?
I think the majority accept that. And the numbers of people who following my websites give you an indication about the majority want to build. In 2008, I asked the youth, are you ready to start your microfinance projects and to build and so and so and so? Please, and I put a survey with Gallup, and they sent the youth around 1 million reply, we want to work, we need training courses, and they gave the survey, it was fantastic survey at that time, so 1 million. So I claim that I'm talking on behalf of 1 million youth want to build, not destroy.
Your Right Start Foundation and Life Makers have been very successful, and I know you put a lot of energy into those. Are there any other goals you have set yourself in even the near future that you would like, something you'd like to achieve?
Yeah, I'm doing now a new project about internet. I feel that unfortunately extremism now using internet in a bad way, and they succeed. And now to make one of the youth in Yemen or Egypt or extreme, you are not going to the mosque. You try to take him from the internet. So I established a new campaign called Internet Without Extremism. I feel this is my role now. I have to keep youth away from the extremism. At the same time, we do the same project in Yemen to pull out the roots of the extremism through people, to encourage the Yemeni people, not me, not the scholars, all of us, let's defend our moderate Islam. So this is a new project in Yemen.
With the responsibility you have, with such a large following, with the the intensity of all the work you do you ever get a chance to switch off?
To switch off?
To switch off, like relax?
No. I feel it's my life message till the last breath. And I feel it's a gift from God to give me the chance to do this message. Many people want to do something and they don't know what to do. So I thank God that He gave me the chance, even if it's very hard.
How would you like to be remembered? What would you like your legacy to be?
He spent his life for us. I'll be happy for this. That's it.
Dr. Amr Khaled, I wish you luck. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.